A similar scenario unfolded during our bank heist. The allure of the hefty sum enticed Shorty, and he was fully on board. Our target was a bank situated on a street corner, and our accomplice Tommy Spiro had an insider connection. This particular bank contained a side entrance leading to a small foyer before reaching the main bank area. It was along this route that the armored car personnel would retrieve cash. Tommy had informed us that only one guard was typically responsible for bringing out the money bags at this particular branch. The plan seemed foolproof. Tommy would signal me from the corner close to the bank once his inside guy had left the side entrance open. I would then discreetly slip into the foyer and apprehend the guard upon his exit from the bank. Everything appeared to be in order. Tommy positioned himself at the corner adjacent to the bank to receive the signal from his contact. Frankie was stationed at another corner to provide surveillance and cover. Lenny assumed the crucial role of getaway driver. Once the inside man confirmed his preparations, Tommy nodded in my direction. As expected, the side door was ajar, granting me access to the bank undetected by passersby. Equipped with my weapon, I positioned myself accordingly. The internal bank door swung open, revealing not one guard, but four of them. Shock overwhelmed me. 3 guards clutched money bags, while the fourth maintained a firm grip on his firearm. I brandished my weapon, commanding the guard to hit the ground. To my astonishment, they obliged. Evidently, they were as stunned as I was. With my gun in one hand, I seized 2 of the bags with the other, but now I was at a loss. Backtracking through the street entrance, I forcibly closed the solid, windowless door, just as the guards began to advance, drawing their own weapons. I urgently warned my comrades that a team of guards awaited them inside. Jamming my foot against the door in a desperate attempt to hinder them, I urged my partners to flee. In the midst of the chaos, I glimpsed them sprinting towards me, their voices like a siren call, urging me to join the frantic retreat. Fear gnawed at my insides, gripping my resolve like a vise. How far could I flee before the guards' bullets found their mark? My fingers trembled as I relinquished the heavy bags, one of them spilling open, showering the pavement with a torrent of bills that swirled and danced in the wind. A throng of spectators had gathered, their eyes wide with excitement, their voices a cacophony of shouts and screams. Some chased after the fluttering bills, their greed overriding any sense of caution. With a sudden burst of determination, I abandoned the plan of reaching Lenny's car and instead plunged into the heart of the crowd, hoping the sheer number of people would shield me from the guards' wrath. I weaved and dodged through the throng, my heart pounding in my chest. In the midst of the pandemonium, a voice pierced through the noise, cutting through the chaos like a beacon of hope. "Sammy, come here." I recognized the voice. It was a man I vaguely knew from my old neighborhood, standing amidst the commotion. Without hesitation, I veered towards him, a flicker of trust guiding my steps. He ushered me into his humble abode, offering me refuge from the storm that raged outside. I had no idea who this stranger was, yet he welcomed me with open arms. As he scanned the scene outside, I couldn't help but wonder if he intended to betray me, to lead me straight into the hands of the waiting lawmen. However, he returned with news that the guards had vanished, their search efforts proving futile. He offered to safeguard my gun, but I declined, clutching it tightly as I bid him farewell. My journey took me to the home of Tommy Spiro's father, where the other members of our crew anxiously awaited news. Shorty, our fearless leader, pieced together the events that had transpired, confirming my suspicions that one of the guards had recognized me, leading to the police's renewed pursuit. Despite the setback, we remained hidden, biding our time in the secluded basement, playing cards to ease the tension. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal, the realization that one of our own had turned against us. However, fortune smiled upon us when we learned that the treacherous guard had a connection to Carmine Persico's cousin and was himself tainted by corruption. In a stroke of luck, the guard reached out, offering to remain silent for a price, a mere $10,000. With this revelation, the case against us seemed poised to crumble, leaving us free to continue our illicit activities. In a clandestine encounter with Shorty, I sought audience with Carmine, a figure of profound influence in the underworld. With a glimmer of hope, I approached him, seeking his aid in quelling a legal tempest that threatened to engulf me. Yet Carmine's response was far from the salvation I yearned for. "We'll handle this," he declared, a hint of authority seeping into his tone. "But it won't come without a price." A wave of disappointment washed over me, eclipsing the glimmer of hope that had flickered moments before. The price he demanded was steep, a staggering 3 points on the money that would secure my freedom. The implications were dire. A burden of $300 a week until the principal was fully repaid. "Carmine," I pleaded, desperation evident in my voice, "I'm flat broke. That's why I resorted to robbing the bank." He regarded me with a piercing gaze, his eyes conveying both understanding and a steely resolve. "I know," he said, his voice unwavering, "but in this life, nothing comes without a cost. Let me break it down for you. I'll provide the funds. You won't be handing me money. You'll be paying me. That's the first rule. Secondly, my influence and power will ensure you beat this case. And thirdly, you'll be using my money to finance your defense. If you want to escape this predicament, I'm the one who holds the key. It seems you fail to appreciate that." I sat in contemplative silence, pondering his words. Rationally, I understood his perspective. In the treacherous landscape of the streets, he spoke the truth. If I wanted to beat this case, potentially facing a minimum of 7.5 to 15 years behind bars, I need to pay the vig. It was the unwritten rule of the game. Recognizing that he was schooling me in the harsh realities of the underworld, I accepted the burden he imposed. I knew I had to scramble to raise the $300 weekly to maintain my standing with Carmine while simultaneously pursuing the $10,000 I owed him. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but I knew how to tread it. With a gun in hand, I embarked on a series of heists, targeting jewelry stores with ruthless efficiency. It took me 3 grueling weeks, but I managed to gather the funds, unable to bear the thought of owing Carmine that hefty sum. In the end, I emerged from the ordeal, my legal troubles behind me, but forever scarred by the experience. Carmine's harsh tutelage had taught me a valuable lesson. In the world of crime, freedom doesn't come without a price.